Hey race fans, it's Race Day Top 5 with me, Frank 5, on a special Veterans Day where we thank the men and women who have served for our country, made the ultimate sacrifice. We thank you very, very much. And what a race to celebrate Veterans Day. Oh my God, ISM Raceway, the new configuration on the old Phoenix track. Very exciting racing with a spot on the line to get into the championship. And it was all capped off with a guy who had already locked himself in the middle of the race, as punched his ticket to Homestead and considered himself as one of the favorites. Now that we have our 4 drivers set. Number 1, Kyle Busch, who, coming into this race after the Kevin Harvick penalty, had a good points margin regardless of what was going to happen. Was pretty strong for most of the race. Struggled in the first stage. Second stage, he got the stage win. And then he, kind of lost his track position in the final stage, but got it back up through a lot of crazy stuff, which I'll get into in a little bit. Kyle Busch was able to capitalize coming in for some 4 fresh tires late in the race and was able to get some nice restarts and held on for the win over Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Eric Almirola, and Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch, obviously, is considered one of the favorites going into Homestead. This is the 4th year in a row with this playoff format that Kyle Busch is going to have the chance to compete for a championship. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, that's pretty much, it's not the record that it's the same record that Kevin Harvick has. 4 out of the 5 years in this new playoff format, 2 drivers that have won it before in this format, back-to-back years in the first years that they introduced this new playoff format, have a chance to go for a championship. So give credit to Kyle Busch. He's been really good in the playoffs, and he's really strong at Homestead, and obviously he won the 2015 race to win the championship, and that was when he got hurt earlier in the year. So we'll see what happens next week. It's all going to come down to who is the best car at the end, and Kyle Busch has obviously got a shot. Number 2, Kevin Harvick, after the big penalty this past Wednesday for failing inspection, had to come in and have a nice solid day. And early on in the race, he was basically cruising out in front of Chase Elliott. Then the right front tire goes down, literally towards the end of the stage with 3 to go. And I thought, oh my goodness, is this the end for Kevin Harvick? Then a caution comes out for Joey Logano, the winner from Martinsville, for blowing a tire. And Harvick was the first car lap down at the time, and he got the lucky dog and was able to get back up there. But in the middle of the race, Harvick couldn't pass a lot of people. I felt like there's no way he's going to win this race if he doesn't get his track position. It's really tough to pass in traffic. It's basically the difference between, that shows you the difference between how good your car is out front versus where you are in traffic. So Kevin Harvick was able to capitalize with the top 5 and avoid some of the late race calamity and put himself in position. He almost saw his teammate win, but luckily for Harvick fans, that teammate didn't win, and you now have a shot at the championship. And honestly, now that he's through, you probably circle that guy as your champion, because the 1.5 mile program for Kevin Harvick has been strong in this final race of the season, the 1.5 mile. So, Kevin Harvick fans, be prepared to win your second championship. Number 3, Eric Almirola, who came in a must-win situation, pretty much, kind of rode around top 10, top 15 most of the race, and then the late race crap happened, and he was able to put himself in a position to have a chance to win with 4 fresh tires. Unfortunately, the 2-car Brad Keselowski was already on fresh tires and passed Almirola, and Almirola was playing. If Keselowski gets up there and races Kyle Busch and they maybe tangled, then Almirola is in position to win. Then Kyle Larson goes by. And Almirola, unfortunately, based on the points, did not make it. But regardless, Eric Almirola fans, you had a great season. Be proud of it. Be absolutely proud of the year you accomplished. To win a race in your first season with Stewart-Haas, to get to the round of 8, that's a huge season. Eric Almirola is obviously one of the breakout drivers for this season, from a guy that's won a race before with Richard Petty Motorsports for Stewart-Haas Racing. This was definitely Almirola's breakout year, and I look for more good things for him starting next season when we go to Daytona, and maybe he can finish off the season next week with a win at Homestead. Only time will tell. Number 4, the freaking playoff drivers that needed to win to get in, unlike Almirola, basically had their chances diminished in a late race accident that took out Kurt Busch and Chase Elliott. Well, mostly Kurt Busch. Elliott finished the race. I'll get to him towards the end. But Kurt Busch got taken out by Denny Hamlin, who I will also get to towards the end. And Kurt Busch was obviously devastated. Was this his last chance to compete for a championship with Stewart-Haas? Because we don't know Kurt's status for next season. I hope he signs back for Stewart-Haas Racing, but rumor has it he's going to Ganassi to replace Jamie McMurray. But Kurt Busch fans should still be proud of the season that they had, and I give credit to Kurt. And number 5, so the final drivers that are going to Homestead are Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, and Martin Truex Jr. in Furniture Racing Swan Song Race. Out of all those drivers, I'm rooting for anybody but Kyle Busch. I mean, Kevin Harvick deserves to win the championship because he's been Mr. Mile and a Half. Truex should win the championship because it's their last race as a team before Truex goes to Joe Gibbs Racing. If you hadn't heard the news, go check out my video from Wednesday that also relates to the Kevin Harvick penalty. And Joey Logano has been so close as far as winning a championship. In the first year of the new playoff format, he came close but didn't get the job done. And 2 years ago, he had a chance but got passed by one of the greatest drivers of all time, Jimmy Johnson. So there should be a reason for those guys to be optimistic. And Kyle Busch, for him to win the championship, he's been strong all season. So those are the reasons why those guys should win the championship next week. The highest finisher, regardless, winning obviously wins the championship. But the highest finisher out of those three will win the title. So it's going to be interesting what happens next week. And finally, recap Chase Elliott. We had a car that should have won this race. We were fast. We could keep up with Kevin Harvick. We could keep up with Kurt Busch. We could keep up with Kyle Busch. We were so strong. And then in the final stage, when a caution came out, we got caught for speeding coming onto pit road during yellow flag pit stops. And we got stuck back in traffic, worked our way to the top 10. And then obviously, as I mentioned, Kurt Busch got knocked into the wall by Denny Hamlin, who's pretty much racing to try and keep your streak going of winning a race in a season. No, that's not an excuse. I mean, he drove Hamlin. I thought I was over him. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not only I'm mad at him not just hurting Chase Elliott, but hurting Kurt Busch too. Hamlin's not going to win next week. He's not even going to win at all this season. He sucks. But for Chase Elliott fans, he did fix the car. He finished 3 laps down 23rd. I mean, I think we could have got a shot. But regardless, this season we got our first win. We got not just one win. We got 3 wins this season. And we have a chance to finish 5th for the second year in a row. I'm proud of his season. And if he wins next week, that's a perfect way to go out. Even though there'll be some consolation thinking if we were part of the championship, then we would have had a shot. But I'm happy about Chase Elliott's season. It's been a great year, and I think we can go to Homestead next year. So the finale is next week. I will recap the Truck and Xfinity race on Saturday, and I will be covering the Cup race after the checker flag flies next week for the last race of the season. Who is going to be our 2018 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion? Tune in 3 o'clock on NBC to find out who's going to be that champion. Subscribe, like. Congrats to Kyle. Congrats to the Final Four that are going to Homestead for the title. Who will be number 1? Well, as Ricky Bobby would say, if you ain't first, you're last. So win, and you win the championship. See ya.